Hey everyone, welcome to my 5th update video. This is my 5th week working on my game, and I spent my time working on random room generation. In the first part of this video, I'll give an overview of it working in my scene and game view, but in the second part of my video, I'll be doing something a little different. I'll be going over my implementation of this script because I think that I did it in a very simple and interesting way. So let's get started. Over in the right side in the inspector, you can see my script, which holds the 15 different room prefabs I created last week. It also holds the variables to change the size of the map and how many rooms it can generate. So let's hit play, and with this current setup, I'll generate a spawn room and 10 additional rooms on a 5x5 grid, which can hold up to 25 rooms. Let's just press play a few more times to see some random layouts. Let's see one more. Nice. And now let's actually hop into the game. I've made it so that all the rooms are connected, so the player can travel from room to room. In the future, I'll add transitions between each room so that it does not appear so instant. Now we can move forward with the second part of my video. I'll be talking about my implementation of this system. My first step was to create a dictionary of integers from 1 to 15 to correspond with each of my 15 room prefabs. So the room shown on the right is a room with a top entrance, which will be represented by 1. To calculate the values, you simply add up its entrance values. You add 1 for a top entrance, 2 for a bottom entrance, 4 for a left entrance, and 8 for a right entrance. This is nice because I don't have to store 4 Boolean values telling me if a room has an entrance or not. It makes things super easy. I discovered this by Googling and finding out that it is easier to make different configurations through numbers as opposed to multiple Booleans. For example, if we wanted to add a right entrance to our current room, we would simply add 8 to its previous value of 1, which equals to 9, a top right room. And we can see this in the dictionary. Top plus right is 9, which is a top right room. We can keep doing this. For example, we can add a bottom entrance by adding 2 to the previous value of 9. This creates a top bottom right room, which we can check in the dictionary. If we add all 4 entrances, we would create a top bottom left right room of value 15. As you can see, rooms are easily mutable through this system. To generate these rooms, I would think of the rooms as their integer counterpart to make my life easier. I would put these numbers on a blank grid, which is just a 2D array of integers. The first step is to create a spawn, which is a room of value 0, and then to add all adjacent tiles into a list called neighbors. This list stores custom objects that tell me which neighbor belongs to which room. The next step is to randomly pick from the neighbors and spawn a new room with a value of 0. Depending on where the new room is in relation to the old one, it'll have a certain value. Because it is on top, it should have a bottom entrance, which means to add 2, and it means that the room below it, which is the spawn, should have a top entrance, which means to add 1. We have to remember to add all adjacent tiles to the neighbors list once we generate the new room, which are just numbers for now. So far, this is what our rooms would look like if we were to instantiate our rooms from that grid of integers. Pretend we generate one more room. It happens to go to the left of spawn. This means it needs a right entrance to connect to spawn, which means to add a value of 8 to the new room. Spawn will need a left entrance, which means to add 4 to it. Again, we add adjacent tiles to our list of neighbors, and this process could go on forever. If we are done generating rooms, we can loop through the entire grid of rooms and instantiate a room depending on what value is in that tile. The dictionary will tell us what to spawn. For example, 5 would spawn a top left room. It is an invariant that everything will connect correctly. After looping through the grid and using the dictionary of integers to rooms, the map will look like this. I think that this is a more flexible way of randomly generating rooms as opposed to storing all combinations of entrances into multiple arrays. It made coding this so much simpler and easy to understand. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next week.